Okay, so this video is week 5, day 1. Okay, so in the first part, we're just changing everything to a percent. Change the following decimals to percents and fractions. So percent's easiest. Let's do that first. Remember, we take from the hundredths place. If we take this decimal and we put it behind the hundredths place, so as a percent, it's 34%. As a fraction, the hundredths place becomes my place value. So it's 34 over 100. If I reduce that down, remember I told you that's not as important to me as making sure that you can do the math involved, that you understand the place value. It's 17 over 50. Let's do the second one, 0.07. Remember, I take the decimal place and I'm going to move it to after the hundredths place, which is going to give me a 7%. If this is in the hundredths place, then that's its whole or its place value. So I'm going to get 7 over 100. Because 7 is prime, I have to ask myself, can 7 go in 100 evenly? And that is a no. So I'm done. I don't have to reduce that one. 2.9. I don't have a hundredths place in this one, so I'm going to add a 0, okay? Put the decimal behind the hundredths place, and it becomes 290%, okay? All right, I can turn that into a fraction. I'm going to go back to no 0 there. I have a whole number of 2, and the 9 is in the tens place. If that's confusing to you, just bringing the whole number of 2 over, you can say 29, and the 9 is in the tens place, and then turn that into a mixed number. Okay? All right, let's do some more problems. Okay, so number 4, and that is 11% of 570. The word of means to multiply. So this is 11% times 507. Now remember, I can't really do a percent. I either have to turn it into a fraction or I have to turn it into a decimal. So for this one, I'm going to do both, okay? So 11% as a decimal is 0.11, 0.11, and it's 11 in the hundredths place as a fraction. So if I do it as a percent, okay, as a decimal, I'm just going to multiply my numbers, 5, get over to the tens place, and that's going to be the same thing. Add my rows, put my 2 decimal places back in, okay? So it's going to be 55.77, okay? If I use the fraction, that doesn't change. I mean, it changes a little because you're now doing fractions, but you just multiply straight across. Okay, and then the top is the same thing as I got before, only no decimal place. So that's 705, 705, 7755. So 7755. Then I have to divide these two, which will give me 55.77. Both ways are going to give you the right answer. You just have to choose which way you like the best, turning it into a decimal or turning it into a fraction. Question 5, 26% of 99. Again, this is multiplication. So I'm going to do this one as a decimal, and the next one I'll do as a fraction. All right, so 0.26 times 99 means I multiply these two. 6 times 9 is 54. 6 times 9 again is 54, but now add 5, 59. Get over one place, so I'm in the tenths. 18. It's going to be 18 again plus 1, 19. Add down my columns. Put my 2 decimal places back in. 25.74 is the answer. All right, now with number 6, I'm going to make it a fraction. So 34% of 91, Okay, so now 34 over 100, I'm going to reduce that. Okay, so I can I take 4 into that? No. So 2 is what's going to go in it, okay? So 2 goes into that 15, 16, 17 times over 50, and that's going to be multiplied by 91 over 1. It's just going to give me 50 on the bottom, and then I have to multiply that out. It's easier to divide with hundreds, so I'm not going to reduce. And there you go. This is why I don't care if you reduce your fractions, okay? Because it actually makes it harder in this case, because dividing by 100 is so easy. I'm going to have to multiply the tops anyway, okay? So this is 91 times 34, which is going to be that. Get over 1 place value and do my math. 4, 9, 10, 3 is my top. And my bottom's going to be 100. Dividing by 100 means move the decimal place 2 places, and it's 30.94. So in number 7, they want you to write an equation. So 75% of 76 is about what number? So the what number, that's my n, okay, means equals, this means multiply. So for this first one, I'm going to do a fraction. Okay, so 76 times 75 is 42. What is wrong with me? 42. Wait. Once you make one mistake, it all goes downhill, doesn't it? 75 times 76. 30. 42, 45, over 1, 35, 49, and that would be 52. Okay, so that's what's going to be equal. So n is going to equal divide 57. Okay? And that makes sense, because when I multiply a part of one to a whole number, I get a smaller number out. That's what we talked about in class. Okay, so next one, number 8. Okay, so this one is a whole part. It's a mixed number. Okay, so I should get a bigger number. Again, what number means n? Is equals. I'm going to turn this into a decimal this time. So remember, got to put it to the hundreds place, of 40. All right, so I'm going to multiply these two numbers. All right, and I did the wrong place value. It should be 2 places. So n equals 41.2. And it's a little bit more because we're over 100%. So we got the whole 40, but then we had to find out what the 3% was. Okay? Same format again, okay? About what numbers n is equals 87. I'm going to do a decimal this time, times 0.333. I'm going to multiply these, 21, 21, 23, 21, 23, over 1, 24, 24 plus 2 is 24 plus 2 is 26. 24 plus 2 is 26. 1, 7, 9, 8, 2. And I need 3 decimal places because there's 3 here. And that's what equals n. Very good. Alright, so now we get into more complicated word problems, and they say write equation and solve. So in 10, approximately 11% of each batch of yo-yos is defective. How many yo-yos in the batch of 1,500 would be affected? So the total amount of yo-yos is 1,500, so I know that's my total. I don't know how many to be, sorry, it says of 1,500. So I know 1,500 goes here. It's 11% of 1,500. I don't know the total that is defected, okay? So I'm going to do it this way, because I can use a skill called cross-canceling. I can cancel these zeros with these zeros, okay? And that's just going to make it a lot easier. I'm trying to give you guys some tips, some strategies to go faster. That's part of the thing that this class is going to do in this chapter. So if there's 1,500 and 11% of them are defective, 165 are defected. Number 11. On a weekday, 911 cars pass through a city intersection. On Saturday, only 33% of that number passed through the intersection. How many cars passed through the intersection? So I don't know the total amount of cars that passed through the intersection, but I know it's 33% of 111. And this time I'm going to do a decimal, since last time I did a fraction. All right, do my math here on the side. 3,327 over 3,327. Add. I need 2 decimal places. So 363 cars. Now, does that make sense? Can I have 0.63 of a car? No. So it's actually 301 cars went through the intersection. Why? Because the 6 is going to round the 0 up. Anything above 5 rounds the 0 up. Last question. So question 12 says a jury wants to give an award of 9% of $695,531. What is the amount of the award? So I don't know the total amount of the reward, but I know it's 9% of this big number. So I am multiplying these two. All right? Okay, so I am going to do decimals. Yeah, I'm going to do decimals. So it's 0.09 times this number. When I do it, I'm going to drop the 0 because it's not going to change anything. But I am going to get my place value right. So 9, 27, 45, 47, 45, 49, 81, 85. So that is 54. 6th of that would make it 60, so 62. And I have 2 place values. So they are going to get $6,259. Did I get that right? Wrong? Yes, I did. $62,597.79. And in this case, because it's money, it is appropriate to have a decimal. If this ended up with a 3-place decimal, then we would round it up to money, okay? But it didn't in this case. All right, keep doing that homework and let me know if you have any issues.